Welcome to Sleepy Scientific Secrets, a quiet corner where we leave the noise of the day behind and gently uncover the hidden wonders of our world. Tonight, we begin a fascinating exploration. Sleepwalking is a state where the body moves while the mind remains in deep sleep. Scientists have observed that during these moments the brain is resting in slow waves, usually linked to the deepest stages of rest. The muscles receive signals to stand or walk while awareness stays far away. It is a little like a house where the lights are off, but one room still hums softly. You might imagine your own thoughts drifting while the body remembers paths it once learned. From here, the mind seems ready to wander further. Researchers have found that sleepwalking often appears during the first third of the night. This is when slow-wave sleep is strongest and hardest to wake from. The brain is not dreaming in images, yet it is not fully silent either. It moves in a low, quiet rhythm like the tide pulling back from the shore. Hearing this can feel comforting, as if rest has layers you can slowly sink through. And as this rhythm continues, another gentle detail appears. In many sleepwalkers, the brain areas for movement are awake, while regions for judgment remain asleep. Studies using brain scans show this strange split clearly. It is as if two nights exist at once inside the same head. One part travels while the other rests. If tonight's exploration felt like a peaceful escape, you can let me know with a like or stay longer by subscribing. Either way, I'm grateful you're here, and if you feel like sharing, I'd love to know. What quiet corner of the world is listening along? Children experience sleepwalking more often than adults. Their brains are still learning how to separate sleep from wakefulness. Over time, these borders grow clearer, and the wandering usually fades. It can feel like watching fog lift from a field as morning approaches. You may think of your own early memories and how sleep once felt deeper and heavier. This thought drifts naturally toward another quiet observation. Sleep deprivation and stress can make sleepwalking more likely. When the brain is overtired, it slips unevenly between states of rest and motion. The balance becomes soft and flexible. It reminds us that rest is not a switch but a wide, calm landscape. As we move gently through it, there is still more to notice ahead. As the night deepens, the body remains guided by systems that work quietly without asking for attention. During sleepwalking, the eyes may stay open, yet vision is limited. Studies show the visual cortex is less active, so shapes appear blurred or incomplete. The world becomes a soft outline like moonlight through a curtain. This gentle narrowing of sight can feel protective, as if the night itself is guiding each step. You might sense how movement does not always require seeing everything. Another detail rests in the inner ear where balance is kept. Research suggests that the balance system remains alert during sleepwalking. This allows the body to stand and move without falling. It works like a steady horizon carried inside the head. Even in darkness, the body knows where it is. Thinking of this can bring a quiet trust in the hidden skills that support rest. Sound behaves differently as well. Sleepwalkers can respond to voices or noises without fully waking. Brain recordings show partial processing of sound, while deeper awareness sleeps on. A voice may drift in like wind through a hallway. It reaches just enough to guide motion, but not enough to form memory. This half-listening state mirrors moments when you almost wake, then gently sink back. Memory also plays a subtle role. Actions during sleepwalking often repeat familiar routines. Opening doors or walking known paths appears linked to stored motor memories. These are patterns learned long ago and kept safely in the brain. They unfold automatically, like a song the fingers remember. It reminds us that memory lives not only in thought, but in movement. Certain medicines can increase sleepwalking by affecting brain chemistry. Substances that deepen slow-wave sleep may blur the boundary between rest and motion. The brain settles too deeply while the body stays ready. This imbalance is delicate, like a scale tipped by a single grain. It suggests how small changes can shape the way nights unfold. Across cultures, sleepwalking has been observed for centuries. Ancient writings describe night wanderers with calm steps and distant eyes. Modern science now traces these moments to neural pathways and sleep stages. The mystery remains gentle rather than frightening. It feels like watching history and biology walk side by side under the same quiet sky. Under the same quiet sky, the body temperature begins to matter in subtle ways. Studies show that sleepwalking is more likely when the brain struggles to regulate heat during deep sleep. A slightly warmer or cooler environment can disturb the smooth descent into rest. The body responds by shifting states instead of settling. It feels like drifting water meeting a hidden current. You might notice how comfort and temperature quietly shape the way sleep holds you. Hormones also move softly through this space. Research links sleepwalking to changes in growth hormone release, which peaks during deep sleep. This hormone supports repair and renewal while the body rests. When its rhythm overlaps with partial awakenings, movement may occur. It is like a garden growing at night while footsteps pass through unseen. Thinking of this brings a sense that healing and motion can share the same dark hours. Genetics offer another calm thread. Sleepwalking often runs in families. Twin studies reveal a higher chance when close relatives have experienced it. Certain genes influence how firmly the brain separates sleep stages. This inheritance is gentle rather than strict, like a melody passed down and slowly altered. It can invite reflection on how nights carry echoes of those who came before. The heart behaves differently too. Measurements show that heart rate may increase slightly during sleepwalking compared to deep sleep. The body prepares for movement while the mind remains distant. It resembles a quiet engine idling in the dark. This balance between readiness and rest feels delicate and strangely peaceful. In laboratory settings, sleepwalking can be triggered by sounds or touch without full awakening. The brain responds locally rather than globally. One region stirs while others remain asleep. This selective response is known as local sleep. It suggests the brain rests in patches like lights, dimmed room by room. Imagining this can soften the idea of sleep as a single state and allow it to feel wide and spacious. Across all these observations, sleepwalking remains a meeting point between motion and stillness. It unfolds without intention or memory. The night carries the body forward while consciousness stays behind. This quiet separation continues to drift gently as the deeper rhythms of sleep move on. As the deeper rhythms of sleep move on, the brain continues to adjust its chemistry in small, precise ways. Neurotransmitters like gamma-aminobutyric acid become more active during deep sleep and help quiet awareness while allowing basic movement circuits to remain available. This balance has been measured in sleep labs through electrical patterns and chemical markers. It feels like a dimmer switch lowering thought without turning off motion. You may sense how calm can exist alongside gentle activity. Breathing patterns also shift during sleepwalking. Studies show breathing remains steady and automatic, rather than irregular like in dreaming sleep. The brainstem maintains control without help from conscious thought. Air moves in and out like waves touching shore after shore. This steady rhythm can feel reassuring, as if the night itself is breathing with you. Pain perception changes as well. Research suggests sleepwalkers often show reduced response to pain during episodes. Signals from the body do not fully reach awareness. The nervous system dampens sensation to protect rest. It is similar to walking barefoot on cool grass without noticing each blade. This quiet buffering invites trust in the body ability to guard itself. Lighting conditions influence these moments too. Low-light environments reduce stimulation to the waking brain while still allowing navigation. Experiments show that bright light can interrupt sleepwalking by activating alertness centers. Darkness keeps the brain in a softer state. It resembles moving through twilight where edges blur and urgency fades. This can remind you how night reshapes perception gently. Time perception becomes distorted during sleepwalking. Internal clocks slow as higher awareness sleeps. Episodes may last minutes, though they feel like brief flickers when recalled later. The brain records little detail. Time stretches quietly like shadows at dusk. You might feel how moments can pass without effort when the mind loosens its grip. Muscle coordination during these states remains surprisingly organized. Motion studies reveal smooth walking patterns rather than random movement. The motor cortex works from stored programs rather than conscious planning. Steps follow learned sequences like familiar paths in snow. This order within unconsciousness reflects a deep intelligence resting beneath thought. As these processes continue together, chemistry, rhythm, breath, sensation, light, time, and movement, the night carries the body forward gently while the mind drifts elsewhere, and the quiet landscape of sleep keeps unfolding into moments where the sense of self becomes especially quiet. During sleepwalking, studies show reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, which normally supports decision-making and self-awareness. This explains why actions happen without intention or reflection. The inner voice softens until it almost disappears. It is like a lake at night with no wind to disturb the surface. You may feel how relief can come from not needing to choose anything. Emotional processing also shifts gently in this state. Brain imaging suggests that regions linked to fear and stress remain calm during most sleepwalking episodes. The amygdala shows lower activation than during nightmares. The night does not demand alarm. It carries a neutral stillness like a wide open field under stars. This calm quality may explain why movements often seem slow and unhurried. The sense of touch remains active but simplified. Sleepwalkers can avoid obstacles or adjust their hands to surfaces. Sensory pathways continue to send basic information to the brain. It works like reading Braille in the dark with no conscious effort. The body feels its way forward quietly. This can invite trust in how awareness does not always need to be sharp to be effective. Sleepwalking episodes often end naturally as the brain shifts sleep stages. When slow-wave sleep lightens, the movement circuits disengage. The person may return to bed or simply stop where they are. There is no signal or command. It resembles a candle flame lowering itself as dawn approaches. The transition feels smooth rather than abrupt. Nutrition has been studied as a subtle influence. Low blood sugar during the night has been associated with increased sleepwalking in some cases. The brain reacts to internal imbalance by partially waking motor systems. It is a soft reminder that the body listens inward as much as outward. Small internal changes ripple through the night. The environment continues to shape these moments. Familiar spaces reduce confusion during sleepwalking. The brain relies on memory maps built through repetition. Walking through known rooms is easier than new ones. It feels like following a path worn smooth by years of use. This quiet reliance on memory allows movement without awareness. Together, these layers, self-emotion, touch, chemistry, and space blend without conflict. The night remains patient as the body moves and pauses within it. Awareness rests somewhere deeper, and the gentle mechanics of sleep continue their slow, steady motion through the dark. Through the dark, the slow, steady motion through the dark continues to reveal more quiet details. Scientists have noticed that sleepwalking rarely occurs during rapid eye movement sleep. In this stage, the body is usually paralyzed to protect the dreamer from acting out dreams. This paralysis does not appear during deep, slow-wave sleep. The difference between these stages is clear in brain recordings. It feels like two different kinds of night with different rules for the body. You might sense how rest has multiple textures layered together. The spine and reflex pathways remain active during sleepwalking. Reflexes such as pulling a hand away from a surface still function normally. This has been confirmed through neurological testing. The body protects itself automatically. It is similar to how you shift position in sleep without waking. There is comfort in knowing that safety does not always require awareness. Speech can sometimes appear during sleepwalking. When it does, the words are often simple or repeated. Language centers are only partially active. Studies show reduced complexity compared to waking speech. The voice may sound flat or distant. It drifts like an echo in a long hallway. This reminds us that communication can exist even when meaning is thin and soft. The eyes, though open, often fail to track movement smoothly. Eye tracking studies show limited coordination during episodes. The gaze does not follow objects in detail. Vision serves movement rather than curiosity. It is like walking through familiar space while looking inward instead of outward. This inward focus can feel deeply restful. Researchers also observe that attempts to wake a sleepwalker often cause confusion rather than clarity. The brain resists sudden transitions from deep sleep. For this reason, episodes usually resolve on their own as sleep stages shift naturally. The return to stillness arrives quietly. It resembles a tide turning without announcement. You may notice how gentleness supports balance more than force. Over long periods, most people outgrow sleepwalking without intervention. As the nervous system matures, the boundaries between sleep states strengthen. Brain waves become more coordinated. The night learns how to keep its rooms separate. This slow adjustment mirrors many changes that happen without effort or attention. All of this continues beneath awareness, while the body rests and moves and rests again. The dark holds these processes patiently. The mind remains free to drift, and the wide, quiet landscape of sleep keeps opening into softer and softer spaces. Opening into softer and softer spaces where the body settles into patterns shaped by biology and time. Scientists studying brain blood flow have found that during sleepwalking, circulation increases in motor regions while remaining low in areas tied to reflection. This uneven flow supports movement without thought. It is like warm light filling one room while the rest stays dim. You may feel how energy can travel quietly without effort. The immune system also continues its nightly work during these moments. Research shows immune signaling remains active in deep sleep, including periods of sleepwalking. Cells release compounds that support repair and defense. The body does not pause its care for itself. It moves and heals at the same time. This pairing feels like walking through rain while being gently warmed from within. Hormonal timing adds another layer. Melatonin levels remain high during sleepwalking episodes. This hormone signals darkness and rest to the brain. Even while the body moves, the chemical message of night stays strong. It is like carrying night inside even while stepping through a room. This can bring a sense that rest is not easily broken. Muscle tone remains balanced rather than tense. Measurements show no surge in stress-related hormones during typical episodes. The muscles work smoothly and economically. There is no rush or force. It resembles drifting along a familiar path without resistance. This ease reflects how the body prefers calm even in motion. The sense of orientation relies heavily on the hippocampus, which stores spatial memory. Studies suggest this region remains partly active during sleepwalking. It helps guide movement through known spaces. The brain remembers where walls and doors belong. It is like reading a map drawn long ago and never forgotten. You might notice how memory supports safety quietly. Weather and seasonal light patterns have been loosely linked to sleepwalking frequency. Longer nights and disrupted light exposure can influence sleep depth. The body responds to changes in the outside world even behind closed eyes. Darkness stretches, and sleep deepens. This connection reminds us that the night outside and the night within move together. All of these quiet systems continue their shared rhythm. Blood flow hormones, memory immunity, and movement weave together without conflict. The body listens to signals older than thought. The mind drifts gently elsewhere. And the calm, wide field of sleep remains open as the night carries everything forward. As the night carries everything forward, the brain continues to balance signals from the outside and inside worlds. Sensory gating becomes stronger during deep sleep, including moments of sleepwalking. This means unnecessary signals are filtered before reaching awareness. Touch and sound are simplified to essentials. It is like listening to the ocean while distant noises fade away. You might feel how calm grows when the mind is protected from excess detail. The autonomic nervous system remains active in a steady way. Heart rhythm and digestion continue without interruption. Studies show that parasympathetic activity stays dominant during sleepwalking. This branch of the nervous system supports rest and repair. Even movement happens under a restful command. It feels like floating while still being gently guided. The body does not leave its calm state behind. Posture control offers another quiet detail. Research using motion sensors shows that posture remains upright and balanced. The cerebellum coordinates fine adjustments automatically. Muscles respond smoothly to shifts in weight. It is similar to standing on a slow-moving boat without thinking. Balance becomes an unconscious art practiced in the dark. Emotional memory behaves differently in these states. Sleepwalking episodes are rarely remembered because memory encoding remains limited. The hippocampus does not fully record events. The night passes without leaving marks. It is like footsteps in sand that smooth away before morning. This absence of memory allows the mind to rest without stories. Environmental sounds can still influence direction. Gentle noises like running water or a familiar hum may guide movement. Experiments show orientation can shift toward consistent sounds. The brain uses simple cues instead of detailed maps. It feels like following a lighthouse beam without seeing the shore. Sound becomes a soft guide rather than a demand. Body awareness also narrows during these moments. The sense of where limbs are in space remains intact while self-reflection stays quiet. Proprioception continues to function through spinal pathways. This allows smooth motion without thought. It is like knowing where your hands are with eyes closed. The body knows itself even when the mind drifts. All these quiet functions continue to layer together. Signals filter balance holds, memory softens, and calm remains present. Movement and rest share the same space without conflict. The night stays wide and patient, and the gentle unfolding of sleep keeps drifting onward. And the gentle unfolding of sleep keeps drifting onward as the body follows rhythms set deep within its structure. Muscle memory continues to guide movement with quiet precision. Studies show that complex sequences like opening doors or climbing stairs rely on motor programs stored far below conscious thought. These programs activate smoothly during sleepwalking. It is like a river following a familiar curve even in darkness. You may feel how experience settles into the body and waits patiently. The vestibular system remains finely tuned throughout these moments. Signals from the inner ear help maintain orientation and balance. Research confirms that head position and motion are continuously monitored even in deep sleep. This hidden guidance keeps the body aligned with gravity. It feels like carrying a silent compass inside. Balance becomes an instinct rather than a decision. Energy use during sleepwalking stays relatively low. Measurements of oxygen consumption show only a small increase compared to resting sleep. The body moves efficiently without strain. Muscles engage only what is necessary. It resembles walking slowly through a quiet room without haste. This efficiency reflects how the body conserves resources even while active. Neural communication between the two hemispheres of the brain also changes subtly. Some connections quiet down, while others remain open. This selective communication has been observed through EEG patterns. The brain does not speak to itself loudly. It whispers only what is needed. This soft exchange supports movement without reflection and allows rest to continue underneath. The sense of threat remains muted during sleepwalking. The brain prioritizes internal balance over external evaluation. Stress responses stay low unless strong stimuli appear. This has been confirmed by cortisol measurements during episodes. The night does not demand vigilance. It offers a permission to move without fear. You might notice how safety can exist without constant awareness. Time within the body continues its slow internal pacing. Circadian signals remain steady, guiding hormones and temperature. Sleepwalking does not disrupt this larger rhythm. The body stays aligned with its internal clock. It is like drifting within a current that never stops flowing. Even movement becomes part of rest rather than an interruption. As these systems continue working together, movement, memory, balance, energy communication, and time, the night holds them gently. The body travels short distances, then settles again. Awareness remains distant and soft, and the wide, quiet field of sleep continues to open with each slow breath and each unhurried step. With each slow breath and each unhurried step, the wide, quiet field of sleep remains open and receptive. Brain electrical activity continues to show large, slow waves rolling across the cortex during these moments. These waves synchronize groups of neurons into shared rest. Movement happens between these waves rather than instead of them. It is like walking during pauses in a long, calm song. You may sense how rest can hold motion without breaking. The sense of body ownership softens further. Studies suggest that during sleepwalking, the brain regions that create a unified sense of self remain quiet. The body moves without the feeling of, "I am doing this." It becomes simply movement happening. This can feel like watching leaves drift without naming the wind. There is ease in not needing a narrator inside. Hormonal signals related to hunger and thirst stay low during these episodes. The hypothalamus continues regulating internal balance without urgency. The body does not seek food or water. It remains focused on maintaining sleep. This quiet regulation feels like a house keeping itself warm through the night. Needs are met silently without requests. Reaction to light remains limited and selective. While bright light can interrupt sleepwalking, softer light often does not. The visual system stays in a reduced mode. Shapes are enough without detail. It is like seeing the world through fog where nothing demands sharp focus. This allows the night to stay gentle even when the eyes are open. Learning systems also remain at rest. New information is rarely absorbed during sleepwalking. The brain prioritizes consolidation of earlier memories instead. Research shows replay of daytime patterns continues during deep sleep. The night organizes what already exists. It is like tidying a room rather than adding new objects. This inward focus supports stability. Postural muscles remain engaged just enough to support upright movement. There is no extra tension. Electromyography studies show smooth, controlled activation. The body avoids sudden or forceful actions. It moves as if respecting the quiet around it. This restraint reflects an internal agreement to keep the night calm. Across these layers, brain waves, self-perception hormones, light learning, and posture. The night continues its steady work. Movement appears briefly, then fades back into stillness. The body listens inward more than outward. And the slow, patient rhythm of sleep continues to carry everything gently along. And the slow, patient rhythm of sleep continues to carry everything gently along. The movements fade into stillness. The breath becomes soft and even. The mind drifts lightly across quiet spaces. Shadows of thoughts float past without holding on. The night stretches wide and calm. Each part of the body settles deeper into rest. The air feels gentle against the skin. Silence grows comfortable and familiar. Muscles loosen. The heart beats in a quiet pulse. The eyes rest beneath soft lids. The world feels distant and safe. A sense of peace spreads across the chest. Shoulders fall. Hands rest without effort. Legs sink into softness. The body seems to fold into itself with ease. Every exhale carries away tension. Every inhale draws in quiet. The mind hovers in the soft half-light of thoughtless awareness. Images fade into gentle shadows. Sounds recede like waves withdrawing slowly from the shore. The night embraces everything. Breathing slows further. Thoughts dissolve like mist. The space around feels wider and stiller. Warmth spreads without motion. Calm deepens. Each heartbeat is a quiet drum beneath the surface. Eyes feel heavier. Limbs heavier still. Muscles relax completely. The body and mind share the same gentle rhythm. Lightness grows in every small movement of air. The world outside becomes softer. Nothing presses. Nothing demands. The mind flows with the quiet. Awareness loosens like leaves drifting on water. The night hums softly. The body rests fully. Even the smallest tensions vanish. Everything melts into calm. Breath and stillness merge. Shadows blend with darkness. The space inside is wide and soft. And gradually there is only the quiet. Only the slow, gentle rhythm of breath. Only the night holding everything. Only rest spreading evenly. The body is weightless in sleep. The mind floats along gentle currents. Light and shadow mingle softly. All drifts away into the endless calm of the night.